All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with episode 48 of this freaking show. A weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. I am your host, Travesty, and with me on this lovely evening...
Awkward Colin.
And Geek Cast Joe.
And Joe is coming to you live from another dimension.
I am joining you from the only technology that's available in this town, a landline phone.
That's awesome.
Oh my god. Please tell me that you just pressed your cheek up against the buttons.
I'm pretty sure I did.
It sounds like you're coming to us from a rotary dial phone, man.
It feels like it.
But it's okay because you know what? I actually like it because it's rugged. It's rugged like your household, man. It's rugged like that beautiful picture that you took from the back window of your house that you posted up on Facebook.
Thank you.
Dude, that was so fucking peaceful looking. I sat there like, I wish I could have that. But at the same time, I also wish I had Comcast cable and have that. And obviously I can't do that where you're at.
I've never wanted Comcast cable in my life until I moved here.
Oh shit. Well, how's everyone doing? Joe, you have a good weekend? What was your weekend like?
I did have a good weekend. The wife and I drove back to Chicago for a very quick funeral. It was good. It was a really good, thing. I think everybody left it feeling better than they felt going into it. So,
yeah, you I think I remember you telling me this right and everything, but I mean, like this was kind of like planned. Like you guys knew this was happening. It wasn't unexpected. Correct.
Yeah, it was about. Well, I would argue it's about 6 years in the making at least. But we kind of had the notice about 3 weeks ago. So
okay. I got you. Well, I send my condolences to you and to Maddie. I'm sorry for you guys' loss. If you need anything, I'm here for you.
I appreciate that.
I'm not a total douchebag, but, I mean, I am mostly, but not always. Mostly, though. Colin, how about you? How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. You have fun this weekend? You do anything exciting?
Went to breakfast at the Fire Pit Bar and Grill. Took my girlfriend for the first time. So
now is that the same Fire Pit Bar and Grill where you get a burger and beer every Monday and Wednesday for $6.99?
Yes, it is.
Now that's the same Fire Pit Bar and Grill where you get breakfast every Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 11 a.m.
Yep.
The same one you can find on Facebook at this at Fire Pit Bar.
Yes.
I think they have a website too. It's called firepitbar.com.
I think so.
Absolutely. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, that's what I did this weekend.
Yeah, I saw on Sam's Facebook. She really enjoyed those mimosas.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
it's a great way to start a morning with a mimosa.
It's absolutely.
If any of you say it's not, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourselves.
That's the best.
Absolutely. It's not just for brunch anymore. That's a breakfast enjoyment at this point.
It's true.
Which is awesome because as far as I know, the Fire Pit Bar and Grill is the only place around here that isn't like 11 a.m. open bar or a fucking golf course where you can actually get a mimosa.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could actually, you could go in there, 7 a.m. Like, what can I get you? Oh, let me get a mimosa. And they'll bring it to you. I'm more of a Bloody Mary fan, but you know what? Once in a while I do enjoy a mimosa. I think actually next time we go to breakfast at the Fire Pit Bar and Grill over in Peotone, Illinois, burger and beer $6.99 on Wednesday, I think I might get a mimosa.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Absolutely. Joey, next time you come back out, you should enjoy a mimosa with us.
I will definitely plan on it. For darn sure.
Awesome. Perfect. Geez. Ladies and gentlemen, just give you a quick heads up and let you know what is going on with the remainder of this show. We had an MMA fighter, a friend of mine, Chris Picker, on our show to talk about his career and his life in the MMA scene. Unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, we lost the beginning and the end of this interview. So what we're going to be showing you now is the middle part of this interview, as far as who his influences are, what he does as far as competition and stuff like that. So again, we apologize for the beginning and for the loss, or the beginning and the end that we have lost, and we will work on to have Chris on again someday to kind of collect or redo what we did miss. So please enjoy the remainder of this show. Now, I've known you. I've known you for years. It has to be almost like 10 years now, probably a little bit more. And you're a good sized dude. You're about about 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, about 6'4",
Okay.
270.
270. Okay, so you're a big guy. Now, have you ever been in a fight where there was a guy bigger than you? You were the underdog in that fight. Were you always like that tower of madness that just came in and?
Well, not in the cage. I haven't found a guy that was a lot bigger than me. I did, however, in a grappling tournament for Naga, I found a guy that was 6'6" or 6'7", but he was like 240. But I mean, this guy was cut. He was what a 170-pound guy normally looks like, that's all cut up, except at 6'6". And he ended up beating me by points, but man, he was a beast. You want to talk about strong? I stood next to him. I'm like the short little fat guy next to him, But yeah. Other than that, I haven't found a whole lot of guys that are too much bigger than me. In the cage, they're about my size, maybe a little smaller. Everybody, there's all different types of sizes.
I got you. Okay, so now you said that you fought at Hidden Cove, which what's it called now? It's called the Sportsplex, or whatever they call it now.
Yeah, Legacy or something.
All right, where have you fought? Have you traveled out of state? Do you kind of stay local? What's your radius of fight traveling?
Well, lately I've been local. The furthest I've gone is Kentucky. It was a promoter that was promoting up here. He had a fight, down in Kentucky, and he asked me to come down there and fight their top heavyweight guy for their title. Now, they told me that that guy was 4-0 only at heavyweight or in MMA. Mm-hmm. And at that point in time, I was 4-0. Well, come to find out, he had 10 years of boxing underneath his belt. I found that out pretty quick. I had a busted nose within about 30 seconds. But he weighed in, I think, at 217, and I weighed in at 255. And, I mean, it was a war, but, I mean, he definitely beat me. It went to decision, but he beat me. But it was fun. It was a real test. But so Kentucky's about the furthest I've gone so far. I've gone up to Joliet area quite a few times, Romeoville, Kankakee, Kentucky. That's about it. I've thought about going further out, like Indiana, Iowa, Wisconsin.
I got you. So, when you started out, were there any professional MMA fighters that inspired you? Did you kind of want to build a kind of a technique of grapple and striker based on somebody that you've been watching, or do you just want to do your own thing, or?
I just kind of went with it. It was a sport that I really didn't know much about, and I didn't get away with those early UFC fights until I was after I was in it for a while. One fighter that I did like a lot, but I haven't based my style off of him a lot, was Fedor Emelianenko. Great heavyweight, fantastic heavyweight, in his prime. Obviously he hasn't fought in a while, but just it's hard. There's so many fighters, and especially nowadays, there's so many more fighters. There's almost too many to keep up with. So off of just one person, I would say no. If it had to be one, it'd be Fedor.
Okay, I got you. So now, so with what you're doing, I just out of curiosity, is this considered is this a hobby that you do on the side? Is this something that you commit fully to as a potential future career? Do you see yourself as a UFC, a future UFC fighter, a future Bellator fighter, something that is big, that's popular, huge like that, or where are you at mentally with what you're doing?
Well, currently it's a hobby right now, just due to the fact, I've got bills to pay and everything, and I'm a commercial industrial electrician, so I'm constantly busy at work. We do out-of-town jobs, so that kind of messes with training a lot. So I try to get to training when I can. I would love to go pro, and I've I want to make a good, strong push for pro, but that takes a lot of training. You know, it's a whole nother level. I know a few people that have gone pro thinking that it was a cakewalk, and they've just lost their ass off, you know, in the pro division. So I want to make sure that I'm fully ready. Now, being a Bellator fighter someday, yeah, that would be freaking awesome. But I don't see that happening. But I don't want to. I don't know. I try to be somewhat modest to get, you know, humble rather. You know, I feel like I can hang with a lot of people, but I have yet to be knocked down or knocked out. So,
well, with the last 6 years of you doing this and with all the traveling and everything you do, you have to have met a lot of new people, a lot of different people. Is there somebody that you met that you've never known before but met through doing this that you really connected with that kind of helps you with training, like a veteran that's been doing it for a while? Or is it kind of like you were with who you were at the very beginning, that's who it is and that's all it is? Or,
well, you know, you start with one gym, okay? And some people, they really do good at that gym and they stay at that gym and that's all they learn. You know, and there's a lot of politics when it comes to the jiu-jitsu world. I hate the politics behind all of it. I don't like politics to begin with. But, you know, I feel that everybody should kind of cross-train with other gyms. And that's what I ended up doing. You know, I first started with world-class MMA based out of Clifton, Illinois. And then I kind of started picking up lessons with a guy named Mike Dean from Dean's Kickboxing. He was a pro kickboxer, fought in WCL, and you know, fought for Waco Kickboxing, Wacko, excuse me. So then I started training with those guys, and actually recently been training with MMA stop out of Joliet. Actually, it's out of Crest Hill, but off of Weber Road, and they're fantastic. They got a good group of guys up there too. So you know what? You meet a lot of people. You meet some flaky people. You meet some outstanding people. But I don't know. You know, you show the respect to the people you started with, you know, because they helped bring you to where you are now. You know, so I still try to train with everybody that I can because it never hurts.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So with now you say with you're busy with work and everything, and kind of interferes in training. What is your training like? What do you do to prepare for a fight or to stay in shape?
Well, staying in shape, I just try to make as many classes as I can. A lot of times, you know, that's if I can get up to MMA stop, especially because they got classes every day of the week. You know, and they've got a schedule that runs with Muay Thai, straight boxing, then you know, no gi jiu-jitsu. Then they also have gi jiu-jitsu. You know, and then down here, I try to go down to world class every Sunday. And then Mike Dean just started doing classes again. So, you know, you try to go all of those to at least maintain. Now, before a fight, the best thing you can do is do a lot of wind sprints and running and everything, because I hate running, but it's the best thing you can do to get in shape. You know, it's terrible. I hate it. It's boring. But
something I need to start doing more of.
I totally understand. But, you know, we do a lot of to really get ready for a fight, because it's not a constant pace throughout a fight. So what you need to do is a lot of interval training, you know. So the best way I tell people, especially because we live in Illinois and there's a lot of country to run through, I tell them, all right, go from a phone pole to a phone pole. So you sprint one, and then you walk in between the next one and in between the next one, and then you sprint one, walk one, sprint one, walk when it does. It gets your heart rate up, then all the way back down, then up, then down. So it really helps out with your cardio for a fight, because a fight, you're so up and down all the time. You know, you might be up against a cage, and then you get a couple breaths in. That's your walk essentially, and then, you know, your balls to the wall right after that. So for a fight, you got to run. You got to do cardio. You got to lift. It's a lot. You know, it really takes a lot of work.
I got you.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said earlier, I'm a huge pro wrestling fan and everything, and because of that, I started doing some notes here and everything, and I created a wrestling character for you.
Okay.
So I'm going to share the information I have for you, but you're going to have to help me with the last one I have here. Okay, so your wrestling name's not gonna be Ice Pick, by the way. So
Nah.
so you can keep that if you like. You can actually use that for your MMA. You could be Chris Ice Pick Picker. Put it on the back of the shirt, but you got TM it at the bottom because now I own that.
Isn't
sure,
there a
absolutely.
MMA fighter with the name Ice Pick?
Well, not anymore.
Or Iceman?
No, maybe Iceman, but no, this is Ice Pick, or it could be Ice Picker, whatever. But that doesn't sound as cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep you at Chicago, Illinois, because you never want to say from Peotone, Illinois, because people are gonna be questioning like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right,
so now you're
where the
from
hell's Peotone?
yeah, so you're now from Chicago, Illinois, and not only that, you're from the meat packing plant of Chicago, Illinois. You're like the rundown, like you. I mean, you had some struggles in life. You're like the Chicago Rocky. Okay.
All right, yeah.
All right.
Hey, how you doing?
There we go. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're gonna enter to Stranglehold by Ted Nugent.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Right?
I like where this is going.
Okay, now the only thing I do not have, and you get to decide, is you need a finishing move. So what would your finisher move be, and what would the name of that be?
Let's see here. Now, has it got to be it's got to be a wrestling finishing move, right?
It's got to be a wrestling finishing move.
So,
Like,
let's see.
I was thinking like something you call like the Ice Pick or like Frostbite or something like that, but it can't be a submission because I mean submissions are cool and all, but you
It's
can't.
not a wrestling.
No, it has to be something that's quick. Like an elbow from the top or a big boot if you ever get your leg up there, super kick like Shawn Michaels.
Sure.
Tombstone Power Driver even, something like that. But you get to think of that part because I thought of pretty much the hardest part there, and I was thinking of a good entrance song for a great name of a great guy from Chicago.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's see here. I'd have to think about that one because I was never really a huge pro wrestling fan.
Fuck you, Chris. Come on now,
just
man.
being honest here, man.
Come on now. Even some MMA fighters were fucking wrestlers. What?
Oh, yeah.
Ken
Brock
Shamrock,
Lesnar.
Brock
Yeah.
Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar, he started out like let me ask a question. How do you feel about pro wrestlers who go into MMA like CM Punk? Like, do you believe that he actually should have went and did it? Because in my opinion, he just did it as something to do. Because I didn't see his fight, but I heard it went down pretty quick and pretty ugly.
Yeah, the thing is there becomes a time when you get to that level, okay, because the UFC is a huge thing. When you talk about Brock Lesnar, well, here, let's go to Brock Lesnar first. Okay, he is an animal. Okay, I've always been a fan of him and his career because you look at him, he went from, I believe, a D1 college wrestling, and then he went to, he played for some time for the Minnesota Vikings, I believe, and then he went to pro wrestling, and then now he did UFC, then back to pro wrestling, now back to UFC. I think that man's a phenomenal athlete. Obviously, he looks like one giant steroid. That's just saying. But it's still incredible what that man can do. But you know what? He's had I'm trying to think of the best words for it. He's been a great athlete for so many years that I think that transition was easy for him. CM Punk, I mean, he's been a good athlete, I mean, obviously doing the wrestling thing and everything, but he hasn't been in the same realm as wrestling, jiu-jitsu, or kickboxing. A lot of these guys that are doing it in the UFC, they've been doing it for years, and then trying to come in after, maybe a few years of doing it, it's just not the same. Those guys are on a whole nother level, and it doesn't look like it. A lot of times the crowd's, booing people, and it's like those are people that are booing them that have never done it. It takes a lot, so do I feel good about some of the WWE people coming over or WWF, whatever you will call it, yeah, I think that's fine. The more the merrier, especially because they're hell of an athlete, to be jumping off, the top rope and everything else like that. I mean, weighing in at, 260, 300 pounds, that's incredible to me. You can sit there and do that stuff. But,
absolutely. Okay. So, on that aspect of Brock Lesnar going from football player to amateur wrestler to pro wrestler to MMA fighter back to pro wrestling, having a return match in MMA and everything. He's built like a brick shit house. I mean, that guy, he is. Now, do you believe that if let's say he lost like the first 5 matches, like he never won, Do you believe that he should keep going? Do you believe that maybe he should like? Do you believe that there's a breaking point where somebody says, "Hey, listen, this isn't for me"? Like if you lost your first 6 matches, would you keep going with it, or is this something like you need to think like maybe this isn't for you? Because there has to be a mindset that if you're going into a match thinking like, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm busting my ass, and then all of a sudden you lose, there will be a lot of people who say, hey, listen, maybe this isn't for me.
Oh yeah. Well, you have that. The thing is, especially at the amateur level, I knew a guy. That was fantastic in training, just fantastic. I mean, great athlete. But when he got out into the cage shows, he couldn't handle it out there. So, he lost 5 straight. And he stopped doing it, which I can't blame him. But, me, if I were to go out there and lose that many times, I might stop competing, but I would continue to do it because it's a great feeling. Like I found out, I was telling my other buddy this the other day. I said, most of my best friends now are people that I've punched in the face and they've hit me in the face as well, which is really interesting, but there is a line when you have to draw it. I mean, you look at a lot of these UFC veterans now, they're starting to lose a lot more. They're just not the fighter that they were before. And that happens. You get older, you get slower. So keep doing it, keep training, but you're just going to have to know when to cut that cord, It's all up to the person.
I got you. Now, what would you consider your level of MMA? Like, because like when baseball has the major leagues, minor leagues, are you considered minor league MMA, or is MMA as a whole just one big, like company, or like one big, like I guess like category? Like, are you considered like minor league MMA, like amateur MMA, or like what is it?
So they got the two. They got the pro, they got pro MMA, and then they got amateur MMA.
Okay.
And that's I mean, it's that cut and dry right there. So if you're getting paid, you're supposed to be considered technically pro. Now, back before they really started, looking at that, a lot of people were getting paid under the table, which those were good days. But if you got caught doing that, then you were considered pro, and you can no longer fight as an amateur in MMA. Now, a lot of people who do MMA also do Muay Thai fights. Now, that has no bearing on that. Now, there's also there's different categories for Muay Thai, which I'm not 100% sure on. But I know, like out in Iowa, they have what they consider nationals for Muay Thai, and I can't remember the ratings that they have for that. But it's like if you've had 1 to 3 fights in Muay Thai, you get put in one class. It's like beginners, and then if you have X amount of other fights, you get put in this class, and so on and so forth. And then Jiu-Jitsu obviously has its own rankings as far as the belt system, which is what I'm trying to get ranked up in right now. So.
All right. Have you fought for any kind of belt, or what are the belts that you could fight for, and what are the requirements for it? I know. Like, obviously, there's weight. What the fuck is that word called?
Weight classes.
Weight classes that you fight for, like belt wise, right? Like you got the heavyweight belt, welterweight, I believe they call it, or lightweight belt.
Oh yeah, there's so many belts now. There's so many weight classes. Well, heavyweight is 265, and then the next weight class down from that is 205. So it was just like in wrestling in high school too. The weight classes are so huge there. They don't have like a middle cruiserweight kind of thing like a 230. So they only got 205, which is light heavyweight, and then they got 265 as the cutoff for heavyweight. And then some places will do a super heavyweight fight. I still have yet to see one in the UFC. I don't believe that they even have that division in the UFC or Bellator. That's 266 and up. And it's normally an open class. So, I mean, you could have a guy that comes in at 500 pounds wanting to fight a guy that was, 270 pounds. As far as belts, I have fought for 4 or 5 months now. I had the belt for a while for the MMA Classic. That's run by a guy named Ed Walls and Mike Aguera, real good guys. They do shows typically out of Romeoville now, Illinois. A real good group of guys, good fights, always good people. But I had their belt for a little while, for about a year, and then I lost that one probably 4 or 5 months ago. Just wasn't in the right state of mind, not making excuses. I got submitted with a rear naked choke from an outstanding wrestler, but I know I can beat him. That's the problem. I've been beating myself up about it because he was hitting me and it didn't hurt. But anyways, I had that one. I fought for the belt down in Kentucky. That was Turf Wars promotion. I fought for Fire belt. I fought for Supreme Promotions belt. The ones that the fights that I lost were against fantastic fighters. Just real durable heavyweights. But I tell you what, if I never have to go another five round fight again, I'll be happy.
That's awesome. Now the way that you kind of describe it and everything, like you're able to fight anywhere and anyone at any time. You're not like contracted to one company, one promotion, in one location. You're able to go all over the place. So are you able to hold more than one belt at one time? Or is it like a written rule or an unwritten rule where, like, if you're champion here, you shouldn't fight for a championship here, or how's that work?
Oh, no. You can hold multiple belts anywhere as long as it's at an amateur level. So you're not contracted with anybody because that would once again imply that you are a pro if you get contracted in somewhere. Because they're obviously going to pay. Otherwise, there's no sense in you being in a contract, But I know people that have had 3 or 4 belts at one time. Some people I've seen pictures of 5. Whether they were all their belts or not, I don't know. One guy I was supposed to fight, he had, I want to say he had 4 or 5 belts with him, but he never showed up for the fight. All the belts were on the all the weight classes had their belts, the fights that night, and I was a heavyweight supposed to fight for their belt, and the guy never showed up. No call, no showed, anything. So it was very, very frustrating night. You train so hard, and then somebody just bounces out on you like that, and they don't. It just sucks.
Yeah, that sounds like garbage. See, like, if you do something like that, do they strip him of the title then? Because I think they should. If you like just back out of a fight like that.
Well, normally they would, I would imagine, but he didn't have the belt. It was an open belt. So I didn't automatically win it either because I didn't fight for it. So it just is still an open belt. And then I fought a guy later that is now a pro and actually trains out at where the hell? Out at Jackson's down in I want to say, was that New Mexico? They're affiliated with the one gym that I'm with now, and he's in fantastic shape now. If he'd have fought me like that back then, he'd kick my ass. But.
So now, do you wrestle for like a team? Like, you keep mentioning your gym. Like, is there like a group of you guys who are like who are grouped that like go to like a wrestling team in high school? Like, there's like 4 or 5 of you that wrestle under the same like gym or whatever. I guess I can't really explain it that well because I can't find the fucking words for it. but like, like you have like one coach, there's like 5 of you, and he says, okay, you need to drop down to this weight class, this is what we need to do? Or is it like it's your call on whatever you do? Like, there is no coach, I guess.
Some places you go, it's very like you have to listen to your instructor. I mean, it's very, like I said, political and stuff like that. Where I'm at, it's very what you want to do, what weight do you want to fight at? And they'll give their opinion, but it all comes down to you. Like me, if I wanted to fight 205, I'd have to drop a shitload of weight. And I do not want to drop a shitload of weight. So obviously I wouldn't fight anything less than heavyweight, but some of these smaller guys that are down like around the 185, like they walk around like 185, they wouldn't fight 185. They'll try to fight as light as they can get. So some of those people, not necessarily at this gym, they'll drop down to like 150. They'll dehydrate and they'll work their diet so that it gets them down to 150 for a fight because you figure, stronger. You'll come in there bigger and stronger after you rehydrate. Mm-hmm. So, for the most part, the coaches will let you just kind of go with that and decide where you want to be.
I got you. Awesome. We're getting towards the end of the interview here. I have 10 questions I'm going to ask you. You just got to give me a quick answer on them, and then at the end, you need to tell me what your finisher is and the name of it. So you got to think about 2 different things at once here. But I know you're smart, and I know you can figure it out. All right. Question 1 here. What is the song that inspires you or pushes you while you're in the gym? One song.
Meet the Monster by Five Finger Death Punch.
I'm going to have to listen to that. I don't think I've ever heard that one.
Yeah, it's my walkout song. It just gets me going. It just gets that feeling in the back of your neck. You're just like, ooh.
When I used to do pro wrestling and stuff, I went to a pro wrestling school up in New Lenox for about 6 months before I had to unfortunately stop doing it because of work. But I did that. I did a little backyard wrestling and shit like that too. I came out to Dead Man Walking by I can't remember what the hell it is. But I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you what it is because I can't remember the name of the band, but it's called Dead Man Walking. It's a great song. You should listen to it. If you don't know what it is, if you don't have it, throw it on your workout iPod because it'll get your shit going.
Dead Man Walking, right?
Yeah, it's like
I think I've heard it, but I'm not.
It's not Theory of a Dead Man, but the band reminds me of Theory of a Dead Man.
Okay, I'll have to look up on that.
Yeah, look it up. If not, I'll find it. I'm going to send it to you. Yeah, throw it on your playlist. If not, this may be your new theme song you walk out to because it's really that awesome.
Awesome.
Question 2. What is your favorite workout you like to do in the gym?
Definitely jiu-jitsu. Oh, man. Gi jiu-jitsu lately. Oh, man, there's nothing like it. You know, you're sitting there. You got to work. It's a whole body workout, you know, and, I mean, it's a chess game. It's also mental. It's also a mental workout because you got to think of, okay, this person's going that way. I need to do this to follow said person, or you know they're moving like this, so I need to move like that. So I'd have to say jiu-jitsu would be my favorite.
Nice. Yeah. All right, in a fight, what's your favorite go-to submission move?
It all depends on where they move. For flashy, I would love a Peruvian necktie. As far as a submission is what would actually happen would probably be like a leg triangle or a Kimura. I'm a big fan. I hit Kimuras a lot, so I think I'd have to go with Kimura.
All right, is that that's an arm bar, right?
Well, it's when you take your arm on a 90-degree angle with your elbow, or I'm sorry, your wrist down towards your hip, and they put your hand behind your back and your shoulder forward.
Okay. I think I saw Brock Lesnar do something like that in wrestling where he kayfabe, which means fake, breaks somebody's arm, which was pretty awesome.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, I think I think he called it Kimura.
You ever want to watch a nasty one? It was Frank Mir versus Nogueira. Nogueira had never been, I can't remember which Nogueira. They had never been tapped out before, and Frank Mir had him in, I want to say it was a Kimura, and he broke the top of his arm, like his upper arm. It was gross.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of shit like that. I watched a pay-per-view where Sid Vicious came off the top rope and gave a big boot to Scott Steiner, and when he landed on his foot, he compound fractured his ankle. Yeah, I'm not a fan of snapping bones, brother.
Yeah, I know it's pretty nasty. It makes you go, ugh.
Out of all the places you traveled, what was your favorite venue to go to?
I don't know. I would say, local. Hidden Cove was awesome. There was a lot of room to get warmed up and everything. And the people there, it was just so many people. I mean, I want to say it was 1,500 plus. And, they always would bring in a UFC veteran. And, that was just awesome. So I would have to say it was local at the Hidden Cove.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, I think it's Legacy Sportsplex now.
Yeah, I still don't believe that shit. I just remember the mini golf and batting cages from younger. That game that had like the little the alligators that came out and you had to hit them on the nose with that little foam hammer. But no one ever fucking used it. So they just beat the shit out of it with their hands. Easiest way to get tickets.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like whack-a-mole.
Of all the fights you've been in, which one was the most difficult? Which one was the hardest one you had to compete in?
I'd have to say that would be my fight against a guy named Angel Cabral. He's the one that's pro now that fights for Jackson's. It was a 5-round fight for the title for Supreme Promotions. And we went into the 5th round. I mean, it was back and forth. It was probably one of the fun – it was a fun fight, but also a very difficult fight because he was a big state wrestler. And I broke my foot in the middle of the fight. I broke it on his knee. So I was sitting there fighting with a broken foot. I just kicked, and he just happened to be out of range. I hit it once, and that must have kind of cracked it, and then I kicked it again, and it was, I mean, I was hobbling around the cage, but, you know, he ended up winning with a TKO. He had one hell of a double leg. Oh, man. I went through the air, and that, for me, for somebody to pick my heavy ass up, it takes a lot, you know, and he just picked me up like I was nothing, like I was just the groceries going in the door, you know, and we just landed in a spot that we couldn't get out, and he was just giving me little rabbit punches to the face, and they stopped it because I couldn't get out of it, but yeah, that was a tough fight, you know, that was 5 rounds, so.
I got you. All right, well, speaking of 5 rounds, if you had to go 5 rounds, would you rather go 5 rounds with Jean-Claude Van Damme or Chuck Norris?
Well, Chuck Norris is just a straight-up badass. I mean,
right?
Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's getting old. I mean, even though Chuck Norris is getting old, that man is still a badass. I mean, that's just a fact right there.
Oh, absolutely. Chuck Norris is a bitch. I'm kidding. He's gonna reach through wherever he's at. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just
I love you, Chuck Norris.
didn't punch it. Yeah, he's really got another fist under his beard. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. No, I would have to say I'd go with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Honestly,
The
I love
easier
the
fight, right?
well, if you're going with like MMA rules, yeah, definitely against Jean-Claude. If you're going with yeah, I'd say with him. Because if you're going street rules with somebody like Chuck Norris, he's got all that old school karate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's like eye gouges, clawing, stuff like that. Like, it's some mean shit, you know. So I'll go Jean-Claude.
You hear that, Colin?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. It makes me extremely happy.
Why is that?
Colin's a huge Van Damme fan.
Attaboy. I like both of them. They're both good people. I mean, in my eyes, I like both of them. But, you know, I just...
Well, no, I
I'd
mean,
have to go with him.
you gotta go with Van Damme because it's an easy win.
Yeah. Okay.
What's that?
Compared to Chuck Norris,
Lost you.
fuck yeah. You still here? Well, ladies and gentlemen, due to a technical difficulty, we seem to have lost contact with our guest. But not to worry. We're going to get some information from him a little bit later. We'll throw it in the show notes so you guys can kind of find him online, you know, some of his matches, a little more about him and everything. It was awesome talking to him. Chris, if you're listening to the show, I'm sorry we lost you. You know, hopefully somewhere down the road we can have you back on and kind of finish this talk. I'm glad we did that. It was fun. It was nice. The biggest thing I liked about doing that is because we're talking to local people. We're talking to like the indies, if you will, you know, without sounding too disrespectful, but like the indies of MMA fighting. So I'm glad we got to do that. That was a lot of fun. There are 2 other hosts of this show, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, somewhere, right? I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did.
I did. It was interesting.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I did. It was really, really interesting. Like, it just, and you guys were back and forth so quick. It was like, I don't know what I would ask.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like, and I mean, this is like my expertise right here is like the fighting and everything. Like, not so much the MMA, but like the fighting, the one-on-one, you know, battle between men and shit like that, which is awesome. I'm glad we got to be able to do that and everything. The biggest reason I wanted to have him on, especially for tonight's show, especially to talk about this kind of topic and everything, is because I had a meeting, I had a conversation. It's official. It's happening. We are launching a second podcast off of this freaking show, which is really fucking cool for me. I'm really excited for it. It's called Just Freakin Wrestling. So I'm excited for that. It's gonna be hosted by me and a couple other friends who are huge wrestling fans as well. I think it looks like if we get everything in order and everything situated, this show's gonna launch in November.
Sweet.
I know, right? Because, well, I was talking to them and everything, and like we're trying to figure out, you know, maybe a launch in January and get that going and everything. But they're so excited about it. I'm so excited about it. If we can figure everything out, get everything situated, it looks like we're going to start 2 months ahead of time. It's going to be a weekly show just like this. And I think this is going to be the start of a great expansion on our podcasting, and dare I even say possibly a development of a network in the future. I don't want to, I don't want.
That could be an interesting thing if that ever happened.
Yeah, and it's like the thing, like, I want to stick with the freaking theme and everything, which, this is what this freaking show is all about, like the things you freak out about, especially with the title. So we discussed it. We found a way to make it work in the title. Alan, who's one of the hosts of the upcoming podcast, came up with the name Just Freaking Wrestling. DJ, a fellow wrestling fan, a good friend of mine I've known for over a decade, is doing this with us. We have ideas. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to do this. And it's going to be a branch or whatever, an extension of our show, this way, I could do my wrestling and we could not have to worry about doing it on here to where you guys are like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So that's exciting for me. I'll keep all the listeners and everything updated on that. So if you guys are wrestling fans and everything, you're looking for a wrestling podcast, stick around in about a month or so. You'll have a brand new one you can listen to every single week. Beyond that, what we're doing on this show, which I'm really excited about, is October, the entire month-long celebration of Halloween and everything Halloween-like. And during this Halloween season, during this 4-week festivity-filled enjoyment, we're gonna do two things with the show. The show's name will be adjusted from This Freakin' Show to This Freaky Show. It's all gonna be found on thisfreakinshow.com. We're not changing the webpage. We're not changing the names of anything. We're just gonna refer to it as This Freaky Show. It's just a cute little way for us to get into the holiday spirit. Okay, so if you guys go around and you're like, why are they calling it This Freaky Show when everything's called Freakin'? Do not ruin this for me because I'm excited about it. Also, in part of that, we are doing a segment every single week for the month of October called These Freaky Tales, which our very own Geek Cast Joe will be what's it called? The reader, I guess, but what's
narrator?
The narrator. He'll be bringing us a new or a different story every single week. And Joey, you mentioned in a tweet a couple weeks ago that you asked for a favor from the Freakin Crew, this Freakin Show fans, and I kind of just want to refresh their memory on what you're asking of them.
Yeah, so basically, if you have a story that is a horror story or a creepy story or something that we could read in half an hour or less, that you would like us to read in half an hour or less, that you have written originally, send it to us. Get a hold of us either through a Twitter DM or through emailing us at thisfreakinshow@yahoo.com and let us know about it. And if we like it, we may read it on the show.
Yeah, so I'm excited to do something like that. I'm just really excited for this. And not only am I excited for the month of October because it's Halloween season, but Awkward Colin's birthday is on Halloween, which is always a good thing because it's always fun. Because Colin's like the pinnacle of Halloween, like all things creepy, But not like in a creepy dude kind of way, but in like a psycho looking kind of way, but like in a nice psycho kind of looking way. Like
he's like the mayor of Halloween Town from.
Yeah, like he won't kill you in your sleep, but he'll like watching you do it.
Yeah, not Two-Faced.
Wait,
though,
what?
But I don't mean he's Two-Faced.
I won't kill you in your sleep, but I'll like watching you do it.
Like sleep, like watching.
Okay, I like watching you sleep.
Yeah, no, you don't know. No, you're too weird in the viewing of it. I don't fucking know. But no, it's really exciting. Halloween, This Freaky Show, a 4-week-long celebration of Halloween. We're going to have guests from the past coming back. We're working on getting Graham back to talk about zombies. We're working on getting Hilton back to talk about the zombie movie. We're working on hopefully getting Fear back to talk more about the horror movies and stuff that are coming out in 2017. And I think we may have a fourth guest. If not, I think we may take that time to ourselves to enjoy our favorite moments in Halloween and stuff like that. So stay tuned for all that stuff. And also, as I mentioned, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, hashtags. On Twitter, you go to just freaking saying. Use that Twitter hashtag to talk with us, to chat with us. Well, for the month of October, we're going to have a different hashtag, and I'm trying to remember what the hell it was. It's called Freaky Saying 16. It's FREAKYSAYIN 16. Use that hashtag for the month of October to talk with us about your favorite Halloween memory, your favorite costume you dressed up in, just anything. What creeps you out, your favorite Halloween movie, your favorite Halloween, what the hell is it called? Activity, I guess, or whatever it is. Share with us those moments and stories with us, and use the hashtag Freaky Saying 16, because we like to get you guys more involved in the show, and we'll shout you out. We may even bring you on the show. Who knows? If you're cool, we'll let you tell your story live on the air. Not live on the air, but live to us, but pre-recorded for others.
Yeah.
Right?
That'd be great.
Oh, jeez, Colin, what you freaking on this week?
What am I freaking on?
Yeah, what you freaking on this
week? They're re-releasing the movie Phantasm for one day into theaters, and me and my dad are gonna go see it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. For those that don't know, it's a 1979 horror movie, I believe. One of my favorite movies. So.
That's sweet. That's fantastic, man.
Yep, I'm excited. They're gonna show the first one, and then the brand new fifth one. So
nice.
So it's gonna be a long night. So.
True.
What about Joe? What's he freaking out?
I got to decide here really quick. Sorry, like 4 things popped into my head all at once. I'm going to go with this one. Like 2 years ago, I backed a thing on Kickstarter called the Habit Journal, and I never got around to actually doing it. It's sort of like one of those journaly things that are, you like reflect at the end of the day. Did you achieve these tiny things to achieve your goal over the course of like an entire year or some crap? And it seemed like a really cool program at the time. I could back it for like $1 and get the PDF, and I have just never gotten around to printing off the PDF until this week. And so I finally did that, and I'm really excited to finally be starting this damn thing. So this month, I am building the habit of getting myself into better shape. So,
for you, man.
Yeah,
I'm there with you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, You inspired me, guy.
Thanks,
What's
man.
Up, guy?
I gotta tell you, like these 4:30 a.m. like wake ups to go to the gym and shit have been brutal. But you know what? I have more energy during the day doing that than I've ever had before.
That's awesome.
It's like and there were days, like, I'll be honest, like I haven't gone to the gym every single morning since I started this, but I've gone more times than I haven't, and I've noticed that when I don't go to the gym, my body is giving up, and I'm getting drowsy around 2, 3 in the afternoon. But when I go to the gym and shit like that, I get up at 4:30 in the morning, get my shit together, and go. I don't start crashing until about maybe 7, 8 o'clock at night.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I strongly encourage, if you go to the gym, do it in the morning, do it right away and everything. Eat a good breakfast, get your workout in, get some kind of protein powder, take it like right after so your muscles have something to feed off of and everything. It'll be fucking incredible. I'm happy I'm doing it. I'm happy I'm sticking with it. I think right now I'm down 10 pounds. I got another 30 to go by the end of the year, but it's going to be a process. I want to keep on going. And hopefully by beach season, when I'm wearing that Speedo, I don't look like, some kind of like, Zoidberg without the shell, Yeah. So I'm glad I can inspire you, man. If I can inspire one person, I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I saw, I think on Snapchat that you were down 9 pounds, and I was like, fuck. I could at least make it to the point where, like, I can walk 2 miles without being winded. You know? Like, which is a serious problem.
Yeah, well, trust me. I mean, I can't remember the last time I walked a mile without being like, you know what, fuck this. You know, but I want to change that. I want to get a lot better. You know, having this Fitbit it's been amazing. I'm glad I have it because it helps me keep track of shit. It helps me monitor my walking and everything, and it gives me goals and shit. So if you don't have one, I recommend trying to find a Fitbit and getting a Fitbit and using the Fitbit because the Fitbits will help you. You can get the basic one. I think it's like $100 or maybe 75. I can't remember. It could be 90, somewhere in between there, between $75 and $100. It is a lot of money, but you know what? You're investing in something that's going to help you stay on track. You can set an alarm for it. It's a vibrating alarm. You wear it while you sleep. It wakes you up. I swear it will because I'm a heavy sleeper. But that vibrating on your wrist will wake you up. It monitors your sleep. It tells you when you're restless, when you're awake. It monitors your steps, and you log your food into it through an app on your phone. You can monitor the water you're intaking. It absolutely is worth it, and you know what? It's easy to use. I recommend it definitely. The website's awesome. You can track your weight, your food, your water, your steps, and everything. You can add people on your Fitbit, like Fitbit friends and shit, and you can challenge each other to steps and everything. So if you and Maddie got one, you guys can have a competition by yourself. Who gets the most steps in a day and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what am I freaking on, you ask? Well, I'll tell you.
Oh, I was wondering it really loudly, so I'm glad you heard that.
I thought that's what you were freaking on.
No. This is a life goal freak, but no, just for this week. My little sister, my youngest sister, Ashley, 17 years old, senior in high school. She is taking part in her last spirit week of her high school career, and in doing so, this coming Wednesday, she has her Powder Puff football game. So I'm going to enjoy watching that. It's going to be so amazing to watch her go out there and do that shit because you know what? There's not a lot of people who are willing to do that. But, you know, she's out there, and not only does she have fun doing it, but she's a badass while doing it, too, and it's really fucking cool. So I'm really excited to watch that on Wednesday. I'm not so much excited for the weekend because the weekend's the end of the quarter for work, so it's going to be really busy, especially on Fridays. Hopefully Saturday's not too bad because there's some yard work that needs to get done again. So hopefully I can tackle that without a problem. But definitely for this week, it's all about my sister and her schooling, her school activities and shit.
That's awesome, man. Although I think you had some factual errors wrong. This can't possibly be her last pep rally because I'm pretty sure she's still only like 11.
Yeah, I'm sure she's like only 11. They grow up fast, man. I tell you,
I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean the one plus side is, my granny, like, you know, it definitely won't be her last because she does a lot with the cheerleaders in the town, like this park district thing. So I mean, she's still gonna be like, you know, part of like pep rallies and stuff like that, but it's not gonna be hers anymore. It's gonna be her coaching rather than her participating in it. And I know she loves doing what she's doing with those kids and everything, you know, coaching them and teaching them to do cheerleading and everything. Especially since, you know, the fucking high school coach wanted to be a dumb bitch and tell her that she couldn't be a cheerleader because she was too big. Fuck that woman.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no reason anyone should ever do that, especially to a child. But you know what? I was proud of her because when she was told she couldn't be a cheerleader for the Peotone High School because she was too big, what she did, she went out, she started coaching little kids, and the little kids that she coached won first place in their meet, in their competition, you know. And
awesome.
You know, and watching the look on her face was really inspiring because, you know, what she did, she went above and beyond something she didn't have to do. And achieved something so much that meant so much to her. You know, it's inspiring and it's awesome. You know, she's definitely a motivator. She goes to the gym with me every morning too, so she keeps me, you know, she keeps my shit in order for me too, which is awesome.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's great.
Absolutely. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
You know, every week our listeners can catch Geek Cast Joe here on this freaking show. But where can they find you on Saturdays?
on Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can find me over at the Geek Cast Live Podcast, geekcastlivepodcast.com/podcast. Or if you hate that horribly long URL, just type in gcl.ninja into your browser of choice, and you will arrive at our lovely website. Or you can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, YouTube, or Facebook by searching Geek Cast Live.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, like I've said for the last 47 weeks, you can find This Freaking Show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook just by searching This Freaking Show. And you can find our podcast and listen to it every single week on Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, and Podbean. And you can find all that information just by going to our website, thisfreakinshow.com. Contact us, send us an email. Let us know what you want to hear in the show. Or, tell us something. Ask us a question, whatever. Participate with us. Use the hashtag FreakySayin16 during the month of October to get interactive with us in our Halloween spirit and everything. And also, remember, I am Travesty.
I'm Awkward Colin.
And I'm Geek Cast Joe.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 48 of This Freaking Show. I'm out.